Hello and welcome. Let's continue our discussion on previous year questions through concepts. This time I am discussing with you a question from the year 2013 and the topic is national income. The chapter is national income. Let's see what the question is. 2013. The national income of a country for a given period is equal to. So basically the question is asking what is the national income of a country. Look, this question is totally conceptual in nature. This question is conceptual in nature, and this question is very easy. Very easy. Generally, we do not find these type of questions nowadays. If you see the questions of 2023, 2022, the questions have been around convertible bonds, bond price, bond yield, what is in rates, all these things, inflation indexed bonds. The complexity and difficulty level of questions have increased. Let's not crib about that why the questions difficulty level has increased. Let's now keep on discussing, let's now keep on learning the concepts which we have witnessed till now. The question is, what is national income of a country? We have multiple options and I would like to ask an excuse from you. I would like to ask a sorry from you. Just couldn't get the option D over here, so I have written option D over here. We'll come to this option later on. First, let's discuss the concept behind this question. So, the question is national income. If we want to understand what is national income, first we need to know what is GDP. And what is GDP? GDP is the market value of all final goods and services. We do not consider all goods and services. We consider only final goods and services. It's the market value of all final goods and services produced by the factors of production in one financial year in the domestic boundary of a country. That's the definition. Let's go very slowly. What's GDP? It's the market value of all final goods and services. Like, what is final good? So suppose I'm wearing this shirt. This shirt was not present like this in the nature. Initially it was cotton was converted into yarn was converted into textile converted into this shirt. Shirt is a final good. All other goods which have contributed in the production of this shirt, they are intermediate goods. When we calculate GDP, we do not consider intermediate goods because the textile, it includes the value of cotton, it includes the value of yarn, it includes the value of textile. Alright, so when we consider GDP, when we consider national income, or when we consider GDP, we do not consider intermediate goods. And when we calculate GDP, we only consider the final goods and services. Because considering intermediate goods would lead to double counting. It would lead to double counting, and double counting, it would lead to overestimation of GDP. Then final goods and services produced by the factors of production. We have 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. So whatever is being produced by these 4 factors of production, it will be part of GDP and produced within one financial year. We have 2 types of years. We have a calendar year and we have a financial year. Calendar year, as it is present in calendar. You would be having calendars at your home. The calendars, they start from January and go till December. So this is one calendar year. On the other hand, and this calendar year, it would be remaining same for all countries in the world. England ho, US ho, Germany ho, Pakistan ho, India ho, for everyone the calendar year starting month and ending month is same. But if I talk about financial year is used for accounting purposes. In India's case, the financial year, it starts from April and goes till March. And the starting and ending month of financial year, it varies from country to country. For example, Pakistan's financial year starts from 1st of July, right? So whatever is produced starting from April to 31st of March by the factors of production, whatever final goods are produced, their value is put into GDP. And where should the production happen? The production should happen within the domestic boundary of a country. So what is GDP? Whatever is being produced in this boundary. Its value, its market value is GDP. And when we calculate GDP, what is important for us is where is the production taking place, and it doesn't matter who is carrying out the production. Alright? We have a lot of people from Nepal, lot of people from Bhutan who are staying in India legally. Whatever they are producing, it is part of India's GDP. Alright? So what is GDP? Market value of all final goods and services produced by the factors of production in a period of one financial year within the domestic boundary of a country. Indian embassies abroad are also part of India's domestic boundary. And foreign embassies in India, they are not considered part of Indian territory. Now, that is about GDP. And then from GDP, if we add in GDP, net factor income from abroad, I get GNP. So what is GNP? It is GDP plus net factor income from abroad. What is net factor income from abroad? What is the relation? We have discussed in a previous question on national income. So I won't be getting into that discussion. What is net factor income from abroad? What is it, whether it is positive or it is negative? Now, if this GDP is calculated at base year's price, I would have a real GDP. And if this GDP is calculated at current year's price, I would have a nominal GDP. Right? So, similarly, what will be real GNP? Real GNP is if it is calculated at base year's price. So, if this GDP is calculated at base year's price, I would be getting real GNP. Real GNP is equal to real GDP plus net factor income from abroad. And if in the GDP I add, so we have GDP at factor cost, which is basically the cost at which the product is leaving the factory, that's called factor cost. And if in factor cost I add net indirect taxes, I get the market price. So market price is equal to factor cost plus net indirect taxes. What is net indirect taxes? It is indirect taxes minus subsidies. So if in factor cost I add indirect taxes and I reduce the subsidies, I would be getting the market price. Why I am discussing all these things with you? I am discussing all these things with you because when I say national income, it is real NNP at MP. If I talk about 2023, national income of India is real NNP at MP. Now I just missed one thing. From this real GNP, if I subtract depreciation, I would be getting real NNP. I have real NNP. Fair enough? And if this real NNP, so if this GDP, it is measured at market price, I would have GDP MP. If the same GDP is measured at factor cost, it is GDP FC. Fair enough? So we would have GDP MP. So we have GDP MP. From this GDP MP, if I subtract depreciation, what do I get? I get NDP MP, right? I would be getting NDP MP. And in this NDP MP, if I add net factor income from abroad, I would be getting NNP MP. Alright, and if this GDP is calculated at base year's price, it would be real GDP. If it is calculated at the current year's price, it will be nominal GDP. Now, what is India's GDP? What is India's national income? India's national income is real NNP at MP. The year when it was asked, 2013, 2013, that time India's national income was real NNP at FC. Now let me tell you a few more concepts associated with this question, and that is about the formula for calculating GDP. GDP is calculated by three different methods. It has three different formulas. If we calculate GDP by output method, GDP is equal to summation of value addition done at all the stages. GDP by income method, it is equal to summation of factor incomes generated, which is rent plus wages plus interest plus profit. And GDP by expenditure method, the three methods to calculate GDP. GDP is equal to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure and purchase of goods and services and net exports. Now let us see the options. The national income of a country, here I am talking about, real NNP MP. The national income of a country for a given period is equal to total value of goods and services produced? No, it should be total value of the final goods and services produced. Not all goods and services produced, final goods and services produced, hence this option is wrong. Second option is sum total of consumption and investment. No, it is GDP is beyond consumption and investment. It includes government expenditure and purchase of goods and services and net exports also. Sum of personal income of all individuals? No, not just personal income. It includes rent plus wages plus interest plus profit. When I say personal income of individuals, it is just income. It is just a wages part. Where is the rent gone? Where is the interest gone? Where is the profit gone? Again, this is not the right option. And the third option which we have, that was money value of final goods and services produced. D is money value of final goods and services. This is the right option. Why this is the right option? Because here we are considering the final value of goods. Alright, in this particular video we have discussed a lot of concepts. I would like that you just go back home and do all these concepts again. Which concepts I am talking about? I am talking about what is GDP, what are the important parts of GDP, right? These are the important parts of GDP. What are four factors of production? What is important in GDP is where is the production taking place? What is double counting of good? What is the relationship between GNP and GDP? What exactly is real GDP and nominal GDP? Then what are these three methods of calculating GDP? Alright, I hope you have understood a lot of things in this. We will be continuing with these type of discussions where we will be discussing the concepts behind the previous year questions. That's it for now. Thank you.